I think the best thing about this shirt is that it doesn't show my sweat stains. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. If you are new here, so nice to meet you. I hope everybody is doing super well. So as you can tell by the title, today I am taking on a challenge that I am very afraid of. I have a history of trying to sew and not doing a great job. I've posted a couple different videos where I sew on my channel before, and it's kind of a hit or miss. I can't call myself a beginner, but I can't call myself experienced either. I know enough to get by, and I know that I'm not that good. So I have a wedding at the end of September, and I have to look really good. I just have to look absolutely fire, but not like I'm trying too hard to look absolutely fire. And so naturally, I have been drawn to the super viral dresses at Aritzia. Guys, I said Aritzia not once, but twice in this intro. I don't know who this girl is. We are talking about the Reformation dress from Reformation, the one that's not from Aritzia. So please forgive and forget, and let's just move on, but not Aritzia. Not Aritzia. This entire freaking video is about Reformation. So good job, intro Emily. You really did literally everything wrong. And they're just so expensive. They are so expensive. They are like $300 dresses. I think the cheapest one is like $298, and that is just more than I'm willing to spend to prove a point. So I'm going to try to make a dupe of the super viral Aritzia dress. So I kind of have a plan. Kind of. If I'm being honest, I don't even know which dress I'm duping yet at this moment. There are two that if I were to spend the money at the store, I would be drawn to the most. So I have purchased a few patterns and I'm gonna mix and match. I'll explain to you how I plan on making the dress up, and then I'm going to make some practice ones on scrap fabric to test out the patterns, and after that I'm gonna decide which one I actually want to buy the good fabric for and wear to the wedding. So with all of that being said, and I hope it made sense, I'm kind of all over the place because I know where I'm starting, but I don't know where I'm going, so I don't know what to say. But I guess let me walk you through my overall plan. The first part of my plan is to put together the patterns, obviously. So both dresses have essentially the same skirt. It is a skirt that meets right under the bust. It has a slit in the front, and it has like a certain amount of wave to it, but it's not poofy by any means. So I bought this pattern from Etsy. I thought it looked exactly like the skirt, maybe a little too many ruffles, but that's an easy fix, I believe. I could just make it a little less long. And then the tops are really what make these dresses different. So I bought this pattern to add to the top of the other one, and it connects at the shoulder. So the back panel and the front panel connect at the shoulder. So my plan is to just extend those super long and make them long enough to, instead of sew together, tie together. But other than that, the makeup of this pattern looks to me exactly like the top of this dress. And then for the second pattern, I'm getting a little more creative, which already seems risky. It's probably not a good sign, but we're gonna try it anyway. I have a pattern that I've already bought and never made, and it's this pattern for a dress. But the top of this pattern, like the top part of the dress, looks exactly like the top part of the other dress. So I am going to try and splice it right where it would connect to the skirt that I want, instead of making it in just the super long panels that the original pattern is supposed to be. So I'm kind of just gonna steal the top part and connect it to the skirt. Okay, well, if none of that made sense, then you're just gonna have to keep watching the video because hopefully that will help explain it. But I have nothing else to say, and I have a lot of work to do, starting with putting together the patterns. I have a massive folder of patterns. This is just those 3 patterns, mind you. So stop talking to me. I have a lot of work to do. I'm gonna put on a podcast and just start taping these bad boys together. Let's go.
You in the backyard of your old farm in the summer. Stayed there for 3 weeks where we learned to love each other. Wrote you letters, sent a message to the that day. Skip to the present, haven't been so happy ever. Sitting in your room, working on my first record. Skip to the present.
Obviously, as you can see, I got my hair done. It's been literally 2 days since I filmed the intro to this video, and I have completely changed my hair. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I am very honored to be entering the Brunette Hot Girls Club. That moment of silence was for the brunette hot girls. It's very different and it's supposed to fade a little bit, so we'll see how I feel about it by probably the end of the video. But anyway, I just obviously wanted to address that. I changed my hair. Okay, aside from that, it is a paper explosion here in my room because we have been getting the patterns ready. I assembled all of the printout patterns that I purchased on Etsy, and they're all pretty great from what I could tell so far. My favorite one, guys, is the Nora top. And it's funny because when I was buying the pattern, I was concerned. I was like, $12 for what's probably a really small pattern is kind of steep. But as a beginner, invest in expensive patterns. But that being said, I think today I'm just gonna finish up the patterns, and then tomorrow I'm gonna skip the transitional intro and just start cutting out the pieces for my draft version. So yeah, just wanted to update you guys, just wanted to tell you all about my hair. If you hate it, keep it to yourself. If you love it, feel free to tell me. The muslin, the practice rounds, the whatever you want to call it, pattern tester rounds are done. And I have to be completely honest, guys, I absolutely popped off on these. I am really pleased with how these came out. I can't even believe they're just the practice rounds. I think if you are super new to sewing, the only piece of advice that I am qualified to give, because I'm also super new to sewing, is to just absolutely take your time and really pay attention to the details, because that's what I did this time versus every other time that I've sewn anything ever. And these came out so good. I'm actually really impressed. Spoiler alert, I have already picked which one I'm going to keep going with, but I'm going to show them both to you anyway. So yeah, I guess I'll go put those on, and then after this, all we have to do is fabric shop, and then I will show you how the patterns actually look, because this part, I obviously clipped right through it because I didn't want to elaborate on both of them, especially if I didn't know which one I was going to use. So I will elaborate in this next section, but let me show you the practice rounds first. Alrighty, so this is top number 1, and to refresh your memory, this is what I was going for. And I don't love it, but that's my own fault. I actually think the pattern is really nice. I only made the bustier part, so like the waist up part of these, because I ended up not having enough practice to make enough fabric to make a practice skirt. My bad. But the tops were the most, like intricate part anyway. I'm pretty confident about the skirt. So anyway, So things I like about the top is I like the design. I like these little cup parts. I just don't think I'm at the skill level to make this look nice enough for the wedding. It's just not what I'm going for. It's not the vibe. So now I'm going to put on the other one, which is definitely the one that I'm going to continue on with. And this is the one I'm going with. All right. So like I just said, this is the one that I'm going to go with. I think it looks exactly like what I wanted it to look like. Is it spot on for the original? No, it has these extra seams, but I kind of like the extra seams. I think it makes my waist look smaller. I think it's very flattering. This is the back. And I love the little straps. And guys, this is the practice. So this is on the bad fabric, and I think it looks really good. I think I'm even gonna take this to the store and find a similar thickness in fabric so that I know exactly how the final version is going to come out, just obviously in a different color. But this is it. Let me give you one more look. I'm just really excited with how it came out. I like the neckline, and I made very minimal adjustments to the pattern that I bought. So I will show you guys all of that when we start cutting out the original. But for now, I have to go to dreaded Midtown Manhattan and look for some fabric. Okay. That was like the most oh my God, I don't even know the word. That was the most overwhelming trip to the garment district that I have ever gone on. Midtown always stresses me out. I live way uptown. It's so quiet. Midtown really stresses me out. And the fabric stores were packed. I feel like it's because FIT is back in session. I don't really know, but I was so overwhelmed, and I'm not even sure I love the fabric that I picked, but I didn't spend a lot on it because the guy offered me 50% off whatever I picked out. Granted, I should have looked a little longer. I was just so, like I said, overwhelmed. I was being pushed, I was being shoved, and COVID has made me a snail. Like, I like to be in my shell now. Whatever. Long story short, I got the fabric. So I got 7 yards. I was gonna get 6, and the store worker, of course, recommended I get 7 because their job is to do sales, but I took his word for it because I am tall and I'd rather have too much than not enough. The thing that makes me nervous about it is it's a little thinner than I was originally looking for. I literally gave him the swatch though, and he showed me this fabric, and I don't know, I just like froze, guys. I can't even explain it. So I'm gonna make it with the fabric, but worst case scenario, it is in the budget to go back and change it. I only spent $35 on the fabric, and because I already have the thread, so far our total budget is like $35. And that's it for the shopping haul. We really didn't need a lot for this dress. So now let's skip to the voiceover, and I'm gonna explain to you guys how I edited the patterns that I bought to make the dress. Let's go. This is the front part of the Nora pattern unedited. It is 3 parts, as you can see. And then all I did was take some scrap paper and elongate the panels. So this front panel, I added 4 inches to the bottom, and that's because the original pattern is about the size of like a lounging bra, and I needed this to meet my waist. So I continued it in the same angle that the pattern was already going. And then for the side panels, which is the same for the left and the right, just flipped, I added the strap by just elongating the strap piece that was already there. I added 17.5 inches, I believe, to the strap. And then I also went ahead and added that same 4 inches at the bottom of the pattern so that everything hits the waist at the same place. The back panel had to be split in half so that there would be a place to put the zipper. This is definitely the pattern I made the most adjustments to. I had to add not only the 4 inches to the bottom so that it matched my waist where the other patterns do, but I also had to add about 3.5 inches between the armpit and where the zipper goes for both a seam and just a little more give. I just need a little more room. So then I also added this little rounded corner piece between the strap and the back panel because it had a little bit of gapping when I put the prototype on. So I added that little change and gapping was gone. So I was glad that worked. And then I just added the 17.5 inches to the strap, just like the front pieces. For the skirt, so the skirt pattern is just one piece, same for the front and the back, and it's supposed to be cut on a fold, and that's exactly what I did. I just cut 2 pieces on the fold. The only difference is for the back panel, I also had to cut that piece in half because I had to add the zipper in, but this pattern didn't need to be changed at all.
I can't believe that you waited so long. I'm watching you sit there with our best friends at the wedding.
So after cutting 2 of everything, because the way this pattern works is you literally make the same top twice and then sew those 2 tops together and then inside out them, which you're about to see. These were what my pieces looked like. I thought they came out really nice, and I was feeling a little bit better about my fabric choice when I was starting to see it put together. So after sewing all the pieces together, I like to iron the seams flat, and it's not like a me thing. Guys, this is a step I used to skip before, and it really will take your sewing to the next level. I do think this mini iron helps a lot. I got mine at Michael's, but I'm sure you could find them wherever. And then I cut notches at any of the corners because I have to sew up those straps. So you have to cut little notches so that it can still lay flat like this. I have my 2 panels done, and then all you gotta do is put them right sides together and pin the heck out of it. Just pin it up, all the straps, the sides, pinning everything together. And the only little tip I have with pinning is to start at the seams. That way you know that your seams are gonna line up perfectly. So now that she's all pinned up all the way up the straps, even across the tops of the straps, because that is where we're gonna join both pieces together. Both pieces are joined everywhere except for along the bottom where the waist is. We gotta keep that open to make sure we can inside out it when we are done sewing. So the 2 bodices are sewn together. Taking my little scissors, I'm gonna cut notches into any rounded part and in the corners. So this helps when inside outing that things really are pointy and really are round. And all I'm doing is just cutting slits as close to the sewn part as possible, the seam, without cutting into the seam. And in the armpits and other rounded parts, just cutting about every centimeter little slits the same way. And again, when you fold it inside out, if you cut these little notches, you'll notice everything just lays so much flatter, your corners are sharper, and your rounded parts are just more round. It helps the fabric move and blend. Once everything is inside outed, I take my little iron again and just iron the 2 pieces so flat together so that they really feel like one piece. And there she is! She's cute. We are like more than halfway done. At this point, all that needs to be done is pinning the skirt into the bodice. So I am doing it the wrong way here, but it was okay because I'm just eyeballing where to put my darts. So to do this process, I pinned the seams together so I knew that all my lines would be in unison. And then the goal of a dart is to get rid of extra fabric to make the 2 pieces sew together flush and flat. It also gives your skirt a little more definition. I believe my darts were like an inch on each side because my skirt is fuller, so my darts are gonna be a little bigger. And I did 2 darts in the back and 4 darts in the front. And I just kind of eyeballed it for the first ones, and then I went in and I measured the first one so that I could copy it to the other side and have it, you know, kind of planned out better than just winging it. The front darts I had the hardest time with. I still wouldn't say it was hard, but the hardest time, because I wanted to make sure that they lined up with those front seams as well. That way, anytime there's a line, it kind of has a partner. No just random lines thrown in there. Now I went and I put the darts where they belong, which is on the back side, the ugly side, and I even ironed them nice and crispy, and my darts were 4 inches long. I don't know why. I feel like everything I've ever done said 4-inch dart, so that's just what I did. And then I'm just unpinning the skirt from the bodice and sewing the darts down first, and then we'll go ahead and put the skirt onto the bodice. So I made the bodice a little longer than it needed to be, and I wanted the skirt to sit a little higher. So no problem, all I did was pin them together, grab my good scissors, and then cut off that extra fabric from the bodice. And then we still have to talk about hemming, so this isn't really the last step, but adding the zipper to me always feels like, you know, that last mile, you know, you're almost home. So it's an invisible zipper, so it gets installed on the good side of the fabric, and I just pin it at the top to help me put my zipper foot on it and pin it at the bottom, and then I left a little mark there so that I would know where to stop on the sewing machine. Okay guys, so we are so close. I have obviously everything zippered. I'm gonna be honest, these past like 5 steps, I was not sure that this was gonna fit. For some reason I thought it wasn't gonna zip up, but we are good, we're okay. I should have just trusted my measurements. It is looking a little renaissance-y right now because I haven't cut the slit yet or anything, and then the back has to be ironed flat at the seam. I haven't done that, and I haven't hemmed it, so it's a little long, but I'm gonna do the slit first and then decide how short I want to hem it. So close to being done, but this is what we're looking at thus far. Okay, so it's so hard to keep going when I'm already so close to being done and very excited, but I ironed down a crease where I wanted the slit to be to help me cut a straight line. You could also probably draw one, but I couldn't find my pencil, even though this was 2 minutes later than I just used it. Whatever, no big deal. And then I literally just cut up the skirt where I wanted the slit to be. I ironed down my zipper seam before hemming the bottom, and then that was literally it, guys. Finished product. Here we go. Let's take a look.
Sitting in your room, working on my first record.
Like, what else do you say for a reveal? Guys, this is it. This is the finished dress. The shoes I'm wearing are horrible, but I don't think you can see them anyway, so that's all right. But the dress is, I think, as close to a dupe as I ever would have gotten. Honestly, it is doing all of the things that I expected the Reformation dress to do, but it only cost me, including the patterns, like $50, so definitely a fraction of the price. I added the little slit in the perfect spot for my body, and that's always my favorite part about making things myself, is that I can put things exactly where I want them for me. But yeah, I really love the straps. I love the bows. I think it's all super flattering, and I hope you guys liked it. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Goodbye.